All right, it is time for another currency dump. I have an interesting grouping of notes here. I have not done a currency dump video in a while. A lot of these are going to be upgrades, but there are a couple of new to me notes. So let's just dive into it. First one here is a unique note. This is a Series 1928 legal tender. As you can see, it is a red seal. And the unique thing about this particular note is that it represents the very first and only small size $1 legal tender ever issued, and the very last $1 legal tender ever issued. Apparently only 5,000 of these were released in the United States, with the vast majority of them remaining in the storage at the Treasury. The inventory was released in Puerto Rico, giving this note the nickname the Puerto Rican note. And that was done between 1948 and 1949, allegedly to avoid sorting problems at the Federal Reserve banks on the mainland. Not sure how accurate this information is, but apparently the public was so used to seeing the Blue Seal ones of the time that the government thought that the $1 red seals would be too confusing. Again, not sure of the validity of those statements, but that's what I looked up online. It has the Woods wooden signature combination. This would be Friedberg 1500. And my example is graded 64 EPQ by PMG. Pretty cool note. All right, the next two are upgrades. I had raw, uncirculated examples of these notes for a really long time and decided to pop on uncirculated graded examples. Nothing too special, but pretty cool notes. First one here is a $5 Series 1934 Federal Reserve note out of Cleveland. Friedberg number 1956 DM. It happens to be a mule note. Julian Morgenthau signature combination. Graded 64. Choice uncirculated EPQ by PMG. Like I said, I had a raw uncirculated note, a raw circulated note previous to this one and upgraded to the uncirculated graded example. Next up, Series 1934 $20 Federal Reserve note out of Atlanta. Friedberg 2054. As you can see, it signifies DGS, which stands for dark green seal. This also happens to be a mule note. I did not specifically pick up this and the other note because they're mules. They just happen to be mule notes. Julian Morgenthau signature combination, graded 64 EPQ by PMG. So what I tend to do with the I guess the more modern notes, the small size, is I try to get what's called plain or open series. So this one is just straight up 1934. This one is also straight up 1934 as opposed to 1934A or B or C. In terms of the series, I always try to pick up the open editions, or not editions, open series. So those are two upgrades from previous notes that I had. Decided to pull the trigger on this note. This is a $1 Series 1923 legal tender, large size, Spielman White signature combination, Friedberg number 40. And this note is graded 30, very fine EPQ. Definitely some issues with this note. They graded it 30, very fine, but this was the example that I wanted because it does still have that eye appeal. And I thought it was a nice note. Did not have this in my collection previous. I had the silver certificate forever and ever. That one is graded at a much higher condition. These notes, when you start getting into uncirculated examples that are graded, or even like Choice AU, are pretty expensive. Pretty expensive. So even this one cost a pretty penny, and it's only a 30. So this is my example of the legal tender $1 horse blanket. A couple more large size notes here. 1917 $1 legal tender Spielman White signature combination Friedberg 39, graded 63 EPQ by PMG. Very nice note. This was another upgrade. I had one in circulated raw form, ungraded. So I wanted to upgrade to a uncirculated graded example. Same thing with this one. This is the companion piece of that series. $2 denomination, 1917 legal tender, Spielman White signature combination, Friedberg 60, graded 64 EPQ by PMG. Very nice notes. So this one's a 64, and the previous one's a 63. Nice examples. This one happens to be one of my favorite designs on any U.S. currency. It's the woodchopper note. $5 series 1907 legal tender. Mine is a Parker Burke signature combination Friedberg 87, graded 63 EPQ by PMG. I love this note. It's one of my favorite design elements. The wood chopper with his family. Very nice note. Glad to have an uncirculated example in my collection. Picked up this note too. This is a National Bank note from the Merchants National Bank of Jersey City, New Jersey. Charter number 9229. It's a $5 denomination from series 1902. As you can see, it is a date back. Vernon Treat signature combination Friedberg 592, graded very fine 30 EPQ by PMG. Very nice note. Super cool eye appeal. Obviously circulated. There are some hard folds that the camera is probably not picking up, but in general, the blue is very nice on this note. So Jersey City National Bank. And last but not least, this happens to be a note from the town that I currently live in, Hackettstown, New Jersey. This is a $5 proof remainder, circa 1854 to 1865. Got some cool vignettes of a locomotive. says it has stains, which is true, but still a pretty cool note. You see how thin this paper is. Proof note from the Hackettstown Bank, graded 64 by PMG. So that's it. Those are the notes that I picked up over the last like 2 or 3 months or so. Some interesting examples. As always, thank you for watching. More videos to come. And comment as you see fit.